Building your own fitness program. We're going to be starting a project that's going to take place. I'm going to break it into parts so that you can do it gradually. You'll start the first part of it tomorrow after watching this video and going over the notes, and you'll do the second part of it on Friday, and then you have obviously your spring break week off, and then that following Monday, you will continue and end the project on that day. So, building your own fitness program, lifelong fitness. That ultimately, this is what building your own fitness program is teaching you. It's teaching you how to be fit for life, because ultimately, you're gonna need to know how to read your body, listen to your body, in order to do what's best for your body. So you're gonna have to understand what workouts work best for you and which ones don't, and vice versa. But lifelong fitness is the ability to stay healthy and fit as you age. A personalized fitness program is a program that is specific and unique to each individual based on their goals and health needs. We're all different individuals. We play different sports. Some of us don't even play sports. Our body, what is required of our body, is different for each person in this class. Here's an example of actually a golf weightlifting program, because as you can see, this is very unique to golf. So first thing you got to decide on is, and I would write this down, what is your fitness goal? And now would be a really good time to come up with a very unique and specific one related to the coronavirus. You're stuck inside, you're not at school, you're at home a majority part of the day. What is your fitness goal while this is going on? Do you want to try to improve your cardiovascular endurance? Do you want to build muscle? Do you want to lean out? Do you want to build mass? You got to ask yourself that question and come up with a unique, specific goal for you. Now, here's some different forms of exercise that can be implemented in your fitness plan. These are just suggestions, some ideas to bounce off your head. Weightlifting, a little breakdown of some key terms. Hypertrophy is the enlargement of an organ or tissue from the increase in size of its cells. So when we lift, our muscle is broken down. That's when you're sore. Your muscle has been broken down, and it's actually regenerating and coming back. And when it comes back bigger, comes back with more endurance. It's able to last longer without oxygen. That's why you're able to typically, after you lift 1 week, the next week you can lift more weight and for longer periods of time. So lifting to failure is a big part of that. It's bad for strength generally when you do it too much. It just depends what lifts you do it on. Good for size though, because it always reassures that you break down the muscle if you lift to failure. Lifting for strength, you're looking at 8 to 12 rep range. You got to make sure the reps can be completed, and you should almost be failing on that 12th rep. Lifting for mass, you should be going for 12 to 16 reps or until failure. Lifting for power, you should be going 4 to 6 reps, heavy weight, and moving the weight as quickly as possible. That's lifting for power. So powerlifting, Louis Simmons, he's kind of the godfather of powerlifting. I powerlifted for 3 years when I was in college. I was in great shape, but eventually it does take a toll on your body. It will wear down your joints, from your elbows, from your knees, all that. And this is basically kind of a summary of Louis' techniques and what he's all about.
Upwork has the world's largest network of proven independent professionals. It's like having a go-to graphic designer right here. Oh, I like the green one.
Thanks.
When you need in-demand talent on demand, Upwork is how.
Louis Simmons is a guy who was not a genetic.
Actually, I don't want to show you this video. I'm going to show you a different one. I think this one has a swear word in it. So I'll show you the other one. Yes, okay. This is a core concept of powerlifting.
This is a perfect workout
Speed.
for sports. Football, any sport. This is not going to take very long. He's going to do 16 triples here. The volume is going to be extremely high. The intensity zone is extremely low, about 40-45%. John's about a 500-pound raw bencher. I'm going to start him at the 6 in 15 seconds. He's going to do a set of benches every 30 seconds. For 4 sets, to get up, rest 1 minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. Hit it. Dive. Go. Come on. Notice when John benches also, he presses the bar in a straight line, never back over to his face. That eliminates injuries and utilize the tricep and upper back. The shorter distance of press. You never press over your face. All right. Now, a minute rest. You want to take a minute rest or you good? 4 sets in 2 minutes. You go take a minute rest. That'd be 3 minutes. There's 185 pounds plus 85-pound advantage to the top and 40 in the bottom. Accommodating resistance with the band. No slow eccentrics. Always lower barbells fast. Set the stretch reflex up. If you increase velocity, not mass, you'll increase kinetic energy. That's what we're after for reversal training. Yeah, we're moving his hands in and out, 3 different grips inside the workout. All close to modern pros. Go, John. Hit it. Dive. Now notice the next set will change his grip. Are you good? 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on, hit it. Dive. Everything in your body, if I tried to move him around, I couldn't move him around at all. Your body got to be extremely tight. This is a lift, not an exercise. Hit it. Dive. Perfect. Hit it. Dive. Always use different grips. That way you won't develop a weakness. And actually, by using different grips, you actually learn to groove a bar in any direction. Notice how explosive these are. They're not slowing down. If it slows down, we'd be defeating the purpose of explosive power. Remember, explosive power is shown in the fastest increase in strength in the shortest possible time. That's a definition. Hit it. Dive. 3, 2. Come on. Hit it. Dive. There's 12 sets in 7 minutes. Take 1 more minute rest. You're going to knock out the last 4. I'm going to cut your time. We're going to show you how to speed up a game. We're going to reduce the time on these last 4 sets. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Hit it. Dive. All right. We'll go 20. We'll cut 10 seconds off this. For the last 4. Find out what kind of condition we're really in. You have to remain explosive in the fatigue state in sports. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on. Hit it. Dive. Perfect. Are you good? I'm going to cut 5 more off. You're going to go in 15. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on. Dive. Last set. We've cut the rest period down to 15 on the end. Down to 10. Go. Dive. All right. There's 16 sets of benches in around 8 minutes. Time it on your tape. That's how long it takes to bench. How much weight do we move overall? We just did 16 triples. Triples. It's 48 lifts. 48 times 270, add that up. That's how you get strong. See, we increase volume.
See, that's what's significant about a Louis gym. The man just lifted 12,960 pounds in 7.5 minutes. Okay. It was important how quick he was moving the bar. So, if you're interested, do more research on the West Side Barbell. Very fascinating group of people. So, it's more about strength and overall function. Various sports. Consult with Louie, mainly football teams, college and pro. Let's see if I want to show this video. Oh, it used to be the strong man lifting the world's heaviest deadlift. But here's an example of a powerlifting routine. It does consume a lot of your time. As you can see, it takes a while to move through everything. You have significant rest in between the sets. So like a 3x5 at 50%. The first week, you're probably going to rest for maybe a minute. But working all the way up to 75%, you're probably going to 4x5, 75%. That last week, you're probably going to be around 2.5 minutes at that time. All right. Here are some risks of powerlifting: overtraining, unsustainable back, joint deterioration. And here's a video I want you to watch.
Upwork has the world's largest
So this
network of independent
this video
professionals
is not
with experience
a,
for any scope. It's like having a top-rated developer.
This video is not a video of the risks of powerlifting. I already told you that about how too much weight put on the joints. Your knees can buckle with too much squat because you got to do a 1-rep max. People's backs can crack and fracture. From bench press and deadlift. But this is actually CrossFit, and we're going to learn about how CrossFit doesn't necessarily focus on technique when it comes to weightlifting, which is very important because you're moving large amounts of weight, and it should be in a controlled environment, and theirs is less controlled and more chaotic.
Here. He's coding. When you need in-demand talent on demand, Upwork is how.
In our morning rounds, we look at CrossFit. It's one of the fastest growing workout trends. The high-speed combination of strength training and aerobic exercise is offered in more than 9,000 gyms worldwide, but some warn of serious downsides. So what exactly is CrossFit?
It basically is a workout program that builds strength and conditioning with how the body's built to move.
Gym owner Eric Von Froelich specializes in the popular high-intensity workout. But what really drives CrossFit's popularity, he says, is the program's sense of community.
People are more competitive, they support each other, they encourage each other, and so you get a much better workout than you would on your own.
Michael Shore started his CrossFit regimen 3 months ago.
They push you to try your hardest. One of the things they stress is scalability, so if there's something that you can't do, they give you options to kind of scale it down a little bit.
While the CrossFit trend has exploded in recent years, so has the criticism. Opponents say the workout is too dangerous and point to the example of a man who severed his spine performing a power lift during a CrossFit competition. Critics also argue that people are more susceptible to injury because of the high-speed pace of the classes. But Von Froelich says every CrossFit gym is different.
Do they have an active owner who's putting the right coaches in place, hiring the right people, and all those coaches following through and instructing according to that philosophy? And I think if you have that, then you don't have any problems.
It's a new word for me.
Dr. Christopher Visco is Director of Sports Medicine at New York Presbyterian Columbia University Medical Center. Good morning, Doctor.
Wait, before you start, Nora, did you just say it's a new word for you?
Yes.
What is that word?
Physiatrist.
Physiatrist.
That's right. So physiatrist is a doctor of physical medicine and rehabilitation, and we take care of people who have functional issues.
Physiatrist.
Yeah, all kinds of exercise, sports medicine, spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury.
And why is CrossFit, do you think, more dangerous than other physical activity? Or is it?
It's not necessarily more dangerous. It's a high-intensity exercise program. By definition, high-intensity exercise programs, when performed repetitively and without break, can be dangerous, can result in injury.
So do we do this or not?
So the bottom line is the most dangerous thing is to not do anything.
Right.
So if you sit down and you sit on your couch and you don't do anything at all, that's dangerous because that's when you have all your risk factors.
But can you do CrossFit and still avoid injury by taking certain precautions?
Absolutely.
And what are those precautions?
You take precautions, you take breaks in between doing high intensity exercise, and you have to listen to your own body. And this is so important because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to live with an injury if you have one. And if you start having pain, you need to back down. If you have
What types of injuries are you seeing?
Sure. So at the end of the day, everything from blisters and things like this can develop when you first start working out, but tendon problems, bursitis, tendinitis, any kind of joint problems. I see a lot of spine and shoulder-related injuries related to CrossFit. But not only CrossFit, but other high-intensity activities. It's not as dangerous as other things like football and rugby and so forth, not as intense as a contact sport. But it can lead to these injuries.
But is this considered a hardcore routine and not for everybody?
If somebody has no experience with exercise, it's not a great entry point. So as you're getting ramped up with your exercise program, the current recommendation is to take it slow, incrementally, and start to build.
But I have
It's
to
not
say,
for everybody.
CrossFit is a phase, and not a phase, I should say,
Fad.
but a fad. Thank
Sure.
you. And I've seen people, and I've talked to mothers who said, I never worked out. Now I do it 30 minutes a day, and they are jacked. They look great.
I'll tell you what, it's
I mean it.
Did you?
looking great is terrific.
You want
Being
to,
healthy
don't you?
is another thing. So you can look terrific, but the key here is you want to be healthy as well. And if you're fit, if you're a healthy individual, CrossFit could be a great way. It's one of many ways to get exercise.
You know what I say? Everything in moderation.
It's a long-running joke between Charlie and I, because I say everything in moderation. He says full passion.
So those are some of the dangers of CrossFit. I mean, everything's going to have its risk. I just feel like CrossFit is riskier than others. So let's look at bodybuilding now. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can't talk about bodybuilding without talking about him. He's, a 7-time Mr. Olympic champion. Means he was voted as, having the best body in the world. Bodybuilding is more about look than function. You don't actually get super strong from bodybuilding. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's stronger than most people. But when it comes to powerlifters, not even close to as strong as a powerlifter. So here is just kind of Arnold talking about bodybuilding and his mindset. His mindset is very good. His visualization technique of seeing himself accomplish his goals was successful for him in achieving his goals.
Upwork has the world's largest network of independent professionals with experience for any scope.
Not every legend is a myth. Some are flesh and blood. Some legends walk among us, but they aren't born. They're built. Legends are made from iron and sweat, mind and muscle, blood and vision, and victory. Legends are champions. They grow. They win. They conquer. There's a legend behind every legacy. There's a blueprint behind every legend. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is my blueprint. I always believed in order to be motivated or to work really hard, is you need to have a vision in front of you. And somehow, after having seen the World Championships in weightlifting in Vienna and having seen Tommy Kauno winning the Mr. Universe contest the next day, right there in the same event in 1961, and seeing all these muscles and strength and all this, it had a profound impact on me. At the age of 15, I was now all determined that I'm going to go into training and that I'm going to go and take this seriously, that I want to be one of those guys. I started looking at heroes, muscular guys and heroic guys. And I picked up this magazine that had Reg Park on it. And it had basically him as Hercules on the cover. And by total coincidence, it had the whole blueprint of his life, of how he became Mr. Universe, the training routine. I mean, if I ever was lost about what to do in life, that is gone. I now have a direction. I realized then that I have a special ability that you cannot really, I think, train for. It's an ability of visualizing things very clearly, because I'm a visual learner. So I saw very clearly in front of me being up there on that podium in London, where Reg Park was, and seeing the hundreds of bodybuilders around, and me elevated with the trophy in the hand and celebrating, and thousands of people out there screaming my name. And that, to me, that vision was the motivating factor. So that drove me to the gym. But almost like it was so strong that I actually didn't need discipline. It just took me there. It just sucked me into that, and to train every day, because to me it became kind of like every workout I do from now on is going to take me one step closer to turning this beautiful vision into reality. And so this is what actually was the thing that motivated me, and it became all the way down to the bone. It became like Mr. Universe, Mr. Universe, Mr. Universe, training, sculpting your body, eating the right way, and just staying focused and keeping my eye on the ball. With the age of 20, I turned my vision into reality, and I became the youngest Mr. Universe ever. I felt that I was, without any doubt, the new hope in bodybuilding. I didn't feel that I have arrived yet of where I wanted to be. I felt like I was in the beginning of that, because being Mr. Universe is like winning the Golden Glove championships in boxing or winning the Olympics in boxing, but it is far away from being the best fighter. So I realized that.
So that's kind of Arnold's story. Now, the reason why I show this is because bodybuilding, steroids run rampant in bodybuilding, and it's not healthy. The way their veins pop out and how tight their skin is, it's because they dehydrate themselves for 3 days before their competition. They don't drink any water before their competition for 3 days, which is insanely unhealthy. And now I'm going to show you, though, yes, Arnold is strong. But this is true strength right here. Okay, this is the deadlifting world record.
They made an interesting twist.
Might be the wrong video. Come on, where is it? Here it is.
You didn't know until right now, but
But you want to order wings from B-Dubs, and you want all 24 sauces and seasonings, like original buffalo or honey barbecue or Asian zing, all for takeout or delivery. Buffalo Wild Wings. Raw!
Mark this electricity that he's putting out right now. Get ready for the mountain of Thor Pearson. This will be to break his own record. Keep in mind, one more round after this. A record-breaking lift on the line for the mountain. Here we go. He did it like nothing.
All right, and that was a video of the deadlifting world record being broken. That is the Mountain from Game of Thrones. You see how strong he is? Now, not obviously a bodybuilder, but probably the world's strongest man. So here are some more risks of bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is excessive in your mass gain stage. On average, you're going to eat 5,500 calories a day. In your leaning out phase, you're going to cut down to 2,200 calories a day. You're still going to lift just with as much intensity as you do when you're consuming 5,500 calories a day, and that is very harmful to your body to cut your calories in more than half. You're going to be susceptible to dehydration, headaches, nausea, dizziness, and have other issues. Body is not meant to go through these phases at a constant rate. This leads to overtraining. Now, pliability and resistance training. Here you maintain flexibility. It's functional for athletes. It's easier on the joints. And it's a very new school approach to strength training. It's not applicable for all athletes, but for a great deal of them, I highly recommend it. Tom Brady is the poster child for this, and we can watch this video on it now.
At 40 years old, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady shows no signs of slowing down in a game dominated by younger players. He says it's due to his unique fitness and diet regime. It's described in his new book, The TB12 Method, How to Achieve a Lifetime of Sustained Peak Performance. It's published by Simon & Schuster, a division of CBS. And Brady gave us an inside look at his fitness routine and the keys to success.
Some people want denser muscles. As an athlete, as a quarterback, I don't want them. I want to keep my muscles strong and active, but also pliable.
You describe pliability as lengthening and softening of the muscles.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks they want muscles to be harder.
I think that's what we've been educated on. Well, I may argue something differently. I've seen really strong, physically fit guys that, would be the definition of health, that are ones that are injured the most. And if I can keep my muscles pliable, I can hopefully limit the intensity or limit the injury altogether, if I do absorb some of these forces.
On average, a professional football player lasts just 6 years in the NFL. Compare that to Brady, who is 2 games into his 18th season. He credits his longevity to a more holistic approach to fitness.
We talk about rehab all the time, right? We get injured and we go to rehab.
Yeah.
You talk about pliability in terms of prehab.
Yeah.
Meaning pliability can prevent injury.
Yeah. Not just athletes, but for everybody. Everyone can do this. My parents could do it. My sisters can do it. I did pliability this morning on my son whose leg was sore. He's 8 years old.
You're sort of trying to make the case that pliability is a whole different way to kind of look at athleticism. Right?
It's a philosophy he adopted after meeting longtime trainer and business partner Alex Guerrero.
Yeah, you describe Alex Guerrero as not a body coach, but a body engineer.
Yeah. When my elbow was in pain basically every day, and Alex, through his treatments, this was in 2004, he started lengthening and softening all the muscle in my forearm. And it took away the tension in the muscle. And I was like, God, that makes so much sense. The band here.
Pliability can be achieved in part by a lot of band work.
Band work will I would say, increase your strength while limiting the density of the muscle. The denser the muscle means the less pliable it is. Most of our workouts are all resistance bands based.
Brady's sports therapy center doesn't look like an average gym. 90% of the training is done with these flexible bands. followed by very specific massage techniques to focus on problem areas of the body.
I would say I'm faster now and quicker now than, when I first started playing football, even in high school.
You're faster at age 40 than at age like 18?
Yeah, I am.
All my friends who are moms are going to be saying to their husbands, like, Tom Brady's better at 40 than he was at 18, and there's going to be all these fans in their Christmas.
There should be.
You really want to play into your mid-40s?
Yeah, that's the goal for me.
And does Giselle agree with that?
I think we go back and forth. I mean, she always say to me, well, 10 years ago, you told me it was only going to be 10 years, and now it's 10 years. And now you're saying another, 5 years.
Do you worry about concussions?
I don't worry about them. No, I mean, I'm not oblivious to them. Some of my idols had to retire because of head injuries. Yeah, I'm conscious of it, but I also love the sport so much that I want to keep playing, and I'm going to do everything I can to take care of my body in advance of the, of the hits that I'm going to take on Sunday.
That's a great piece. What's interesting.
So that was kind of just why Tom does what he does. He likes long, soft muscle that doesn't pull on the joints, that allows him to throw with great velocity and has allowed him to play. He's going to be 43 this year, so he's probably going to hit his mark. He just signed a 2-year contract of playing until he's 45. All right. It's not applicable for all sports. Sumo wrestlers shouldn't do this. Offensive linemen, not really a good technique. Even in baseball, we definitely have some deadlifting and squat elements that we have to do in order for our power to translate to the field. Visually, you will not see results. Tom Brady looks like an average Joe walking down the street. Really no muscular definition to be found because his muscles are so long and soft. So we already talked about the CrossFit training. Here's an example of a CrossFit kind of workout. And here's some more problems with CrossFit. Your form is compromised for rep count. You gain strength, but you do plateau. You're susceptible to injury, and there is no maintain phase. Typically, when you are taking place in a fitness program, you want to get to a place where you can actually tone it down a little bit and just maintain your strength. Because if you're always pushing, that's what leads to injuries. All right, running benefits. Overall, it's great for your mental health. Runners say they get a runner's high. It improves your cardiovascular endurance, particularly the lungs. Reduces high blood pressure. Your arteries contract and expand while running, regulating blood flow. It strengthens your immune system, helps with your weight control, burns a lot of calories, and leads to strong legs. Drawbacks of running's joint pain, arthritis, back pain, especially if those of you already have pre-existing back injuries know it's very hard to jog. I can't. You must learn proper running form. And we already talked about the physical benefit of exercise, and that is all that we have for today. And I will upload this to Canvas and tell you what your assignment is. Have a good day.